What's going on today, guys? It's a much anticipated day. This is week 2 of the second application of a new growth regulator on this fescue. Let's see how it did. Stay tuned. All right, I know everybody can't wait to hear the verdict and see what happened with this Anuew to control Anuew and trivialis. But first things first. As a growth regulator, it put the brakes on this fescue. It locked it down, which is perfect, just perfect for this time of year. I'll give you an example. The first application, the second mow on it, this is an acre of fescue. I collected right at 2 hopper loads with my walker off of it, just a little short of 2 hopper loads, which this time of year, unheard of. The week 2 on application 1, a definite hopper and a half. Week 3, we were down just over a hopper. Week 4, I collected less than a hopper load off of it for a week's worth of mowing on 1 acre of fescue, right in the prime. You know, it's Easter today, so that was a couple of weeks ago. Then on that day, I went ahead and made a nitrogen fertilizer application with a Carbon X and some peptide power and a few other things. RGS, I got something attacking me. The following week from that, I was back to 2 hoppers, but stands to reason with the nitrogen application. And this week, I got a hopper and a half off of it. The turf looks banging. So the idea of the growth regulator to slow down the growth, reduce that stress, divert the energy to roots, home freaking run. So we'll see how this does going in the summer in that aspect. I reapplied at week 4 on application 1. So I can't tell you how long it lasts, because week 4 was the strongest growth regulation I had out of it. And that could have had something to do with the combination of the weather, but I mean, it's been unseasonably warm and, you know, fescue growing weather. Then I made the nitrogen application on it, and I'm seeing the you know, it dropped down again. But, you know, it surged up after I made the big nitrogen application, but not much, because this time of year, it's not unusual when this is not regulated for me to collect up to 12 hopper loads off of this yard. So huge reduction in clippings. So that reduced my labor and my time. And it also has to just be phenomenal for this turf not to come in here and cut 8-10 inches of top growth off of it at a time. So growth regulator, home run, highly recommend. All right, I know you're saying, hey man, we want to see what it did on the Anuew and trivialis. Well, I tried it on several yards, and I'm just here at this one now. It's Easter, so I don't really want to go running around to everybody's yard, but I'll go check out a couple of them maybe, and we'll put them in the video. But Anuew, in some cases, first application jacked them all up, and they just withered up and disappeared. And in some, they slowly just got suppressed below the canopy. So it does work to suppress the Anuew very well. It's made a huge difference. I mean, if you get down, you can still look and find little bits and pieces of it around, but it had a lot of control on it. So that was a home run too. Now I'll try to show you some spots. We got traffic coming through. Traffic. Anyway, it's trivialis. Some of it burnt slam up, and in some other places it just kind of suppressed it and got the color, put color in it, oddly enough, to make it match the fescue. So I'll try to find some patches, and we'll look at. There's one right there actually. You can still kind of see it in there, but it's just not as noticeable. And then I got some up toward the house that after the first application showed signs of some serious stress, and they're not doing that well as far as they're going now either. So we'll check them out. These patches here, you can't really even see them, but heck, that might be fescue growing back in there. I don't know, but these were really burnt up looking. There's the other one. Blends with the fescue pretty decent now. See if we can get a better angle on it. See, I mean, but on initial application, these were just tortured and burnt up looking. There they are, right? You see it? Is my finger getting there? Right there. And right there. And I can show you the what they look like after application 1 and top. Anuew all down this edge here, and it's, well, look right there. Almost if I can, let me do a better job of this. That right there is Anuew, super suppressed and just out of the way, down in the canopy, unnoticeable. Turf looks solid. What is, Lord have mercy. What is the idea behind this application as far as why it would control Anuew or Poa trivialis? Well, Anuew is labeled for golf greens as far as to be a growth regulator for Anuew greens. But what we're doing is we're going out with a much higher rate at this 1 pound per acre rate than is recommended for Anuew, and it over suppresses it. And like I said, what I had seen was some of it just wigged out and basically killed, and some of it just really suppressed down into the canopy. And the trivialis kind of the same thing. The Anuew kind of helps the color on your turf out a lot too. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna make it. The Anuew helps the color on your turf out a lot too. And that is the initial applications on the Poa trivialis beat it up really bad, but it seemed to kind of come back from it, but stay more fescue-like, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I don't think that we really totally blew any Poa trivialis away, but we definitely made it less visible in the turf and less noticeable. It got more color into it, and it really held back that wild growth habit that it has, and just made it stay within the boundaries of how the fescue grows, if that makes any sense. Or at least that's what I noticed. I don't know if that could be an official take, but the Anuew definitely suppressed. So again, we're just, what we've done is we've overdosed it with growth regulator. And Anuew is a late stage gibberellic acid suppression, gibberellin suppression, has mode is. So what it does is it keeps those cells from elongating and keeps that plant from wanting to reach up and grow for the sun. And it looks like that its application interval, at least on this fescue from what I've tried, is going to be pretty long. They'll want you to use a grow in degree model day to tell when your next application would come up. And there's an app, oh geez, what's it, Greenkeeper. You can check that out, and you can punch in your info, and it'll give you that your grow in degree calendar model on when to apply again. Like I said, at 4 weeks I saw the strongest suppression on app 1, so we'll see where this goes, because I may or may not get the opportunity to apply again. I might not need to. I just wanted to get a couple of apps on here to keep this spring surge growth at a minimum, so I wasn't cutting tons of top growth off, stressing the turf, and it would be diverting that energy into root growth, which again, root growth is the name of the game, people. Root growth, along with some other stuff, peptide power. Hopefully we'll have some serious roots going on. I definitely am a fan of the Anuew. growth regulator portion of it alone on this fescue was well worth the price of admission for this product. I definitely recommend it, and it kept the Anuew down to a dull roar. Anuew has been absolutely awful this year, and I will try to see if I got some old clips that I made of some spots that I treated and didn't treat and see the difference. It's hard to tell on camera because it's not 3D, but what it looked like was, yeah, I went to one yard and where I make my turn with my permagreen, I missed a spot about like that, and it was you know, that freaking high, and the rest of it was like that. So it works. Get you some Anuew, people. No, I mean, I can understand it being a little spendy in some cases, but broken down by the acre for application, it's not that bad. And for what I think you're going to get out of it, as far as save labor on mowing and reduce stress on the turf, I'm gonna be using it from here on out, no doubt. But anyway, here's your Anuew update, and I'll try to find some clips that I made of some other places. Maybe I'll have time to go buy some today and stick them on here. Perfect example. I missed a spot right there. You can tell a pretty big difference. I don't know how good it shows up on the camera, but that spot right there is huge. Wish this was 3D. You can see it.